Once upon a time, the Earth was a thriving, balanced planet. For millions of years, life flourished in perfect harmony with nature. The sun shone brightly, warming the planet just enough to support a variety of ecosystems. The atmosphere, with its delicate balance of gases, acted as a protective blanket, keeping the Earth at a stable temperature. For centuries, humans lived in tune with this natural balance, using only what they needed and respecting the limits of the environment. But over time, as civilizations grew and technology advanced, humans began to harness the Earth's resources in ways that changed the delicate equilibrium. It all started slowly, with the discovery of coal and the Industrial Revolution. Factories powered by steam engines began to rise, spewing smoke into the air. People marveled at the new machines that made life easier, never thinking about the dark clouds forming overhead. The invention of the automobile, the use of oil, and the spread of industries pushed the world into a new era of prosperity, but with it came an invisible cost. As the years passed, a new threat began to emerge, one that humans couldn't see or feel immediately. This threat was global warming. You see, the Earth's atmosphere was made up of a delicate mixture of gases. The most important of these were carbon dioxide, CO2, methane, CH4, and nitrous oxide, N2O, which acted like a transparent blanket around the Earth, trapping just enough heat from the sun to keep the planet warm enough for life. But humans, in their quest for progress, started burning fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas, which released vast amounts of these gases into the air. The more carbon dioxide and other gases that were pumped into the atmosphere, the thicker that invisible blanket became. The result? The Earth started to get warmer. Not by much at first, just a fraction of a degree, but it was enough to start making a difference. At first, no one really noticed. The winters seemed a bit milder, the summers a bit hotter, but it wasn't alarming. But as time went on, the signs of a warming planet became undeniable. In the Arctic, the ice caps, which had been there for thousands of years, started to melt at an alarming rate. Animals like polar bears, which relied on the ice for hunting, found themselves struggling to survive. The sea levels began to rise as the ice melted, causing coastal cities around the world to experience more frequent flooding. The oceans, which had always acted as a buffer by absorbing much of the Earth's excess heat, were also in trouble. Warmer waters caused coral reefs to bleach and die, devastating marine life. Hurricanes, typhoons, and other storms became more intense, fueled by the warmer ocean temperatures. Forests, which had once been lush and vibrant, began to dry out. Wildfires spread like never before, wiping out entire ecosystems. Species that couldn't adapt fast enough to the changing climate were disappearing, leading to a loss of biodiversity. The once stable, predictable weather patterns that humanity had relied on for agriculture began to shift. Some regions faced droughts that lasted for years, while others saw torrential rains and flooding. Farmers struggled to grow crops as seasons became unpredictable, threatening the world's food supply. As the signs of global warming became more apparent, scientists around the world started raising the alarm. They explained that the Earth was heating up at an unprecedented rate, and if humanity didn't change its ways, the consequences could be catastrophic. Leaders from around the world came together in conferences, like the famous Paris Agreement in 2015, where countries pledged to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions and limit the rise in global temperatures. Renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydropower were promoted as alternatives to fossil fuels. But the challenge was immense. The world was deeply dependent on fossil fuels for transportation, energy, and industry. Despite the warnings, progress was slow. Some countries embraced green technology and made significant strides in reducing emissions, while others hesitated, fearing the economic costs of transitioning to clean energy. The clock was ticking. Scientists warned that if the planet's temperature rose by more than 2 degrees Celsius, 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit, above pre-industrial levels, the damage could be irreversible. We were already nearing 1.2 degrees Celsius of warming, and the effects were clear: melting glaciers, extreme weather events, mass extinction of species, and food insecurity. The poorest and most vulnerable countries, which contributed the least to global warming, were suffering the most from its effects. Yet, there was hope. Humanity was innovative and resilient. Solar farms were popping up across deserts, wind turbines dotted the coasts, and electric cars started to replace gasoline-powered ones. New technologies like carbon capture, which could remove CO2 from the atmosphere, were being developed. Reforestation efforts aimed to restore the Earth's lungs, as forests played a crucial role in absorbing carbon dioxide. People around the world began to change their habits, recycling, reducing waste, and adopting more sustainable lifestyles. Grassroots movements, led by passionate young activists, demanded action from governments and corporations. Slowly but surely, the world was waking up to the reality of global warming. As the fight against global warming continued, humanity stood at a crossroads. The decisions made in the next few decades would determine the fate of the planet. If the world continued to burn fossil fuels and emit greenhouse gases at the current rate, the Earth's temperature would rise beyond control, leading to devastating consequences. But if people united to take bold action, it was still possible to turn the tide. And so, the future of our planet rests in our hands. The story of global warming isn't over yet, it's a chapter that we are all writing together. The choices we make today, as individuals and as a global community, will shape the world for generations to come. Will we continue down the path of destruction, or will we rise to the challenge and protect the only home we've ever known? Remember, it's not just about what governments and corporations do. Each one of us has the power to make a difference. From reducing our carbon footprint to spreading awareness, every action counts. Let's be the generation that turns the tide and leads the Earth to a brighter, more sustainable future. Thank you for watching, and if you believe in this mission too, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Together, we can tell the story of a planet saved.